KHTS Radio, Carl Goldman with you, your hometown station this Friday afternoon, 2:05 p.m. The sun is coming out. We're having a good time here in Santa Clarita. Those of you who haven't been paying attention to the news in the last few hours, big breaking story is Cemex. The mega mine has been put into check, and if you go to hometownstation.com right now, you can get all the details on that. But we want to thank our Congressman Steve Knight, the City of Santa Clarita, and our Senator Dianne Feinstein for working diligently on that. 27 years in the making. Pretty incredible. So hometownstation.com is the place to go. As you're listening to me right now, we're going to do another special 1-hour broadcast. It's our chance to learn about the nursing profession and, more importantly, what that means to you as you're listening right now here in Santa Clarita. If you wanted a career in nursing, or you are in high school right now, or have a son or daughter in high school looking to figure out what they want to do with their lives, or as you're attending COC right now, you're going to want to learn more about the nursing program at COC, career options, and what that looks like. We're going to be talking with two students today who happen to be nursing students at the COC program, and then our, of course, sponsor here and someone we're coming to get to know very, very well, Geneva Gray, who is the owner of the local Visiting Angels, and that is the in-home care service here. And we're going to learn more about Visiting Angels as well, and career opportunities with Visiting Angels, because you've got that hiring sign up right now, right?
Now hiring. Always, always hiring.
Always hiring. But it is, and one of the things I've learned in talking to you, Geneva, is it's a great opportunity for someone maybe who's just transitioning at COC, or transitioning with careers, trying to figure out what to want to do, and a great opportunity to step into a career or a partial career with Visiting Angels and get that experience under your belt before entering the nursing program.
Absolutely. So we're non-medical home care. We care for seniors in their own homes. So we don't really hire nurses. We do have some nurses working for us, but they're not using their license to their capacity. But what we really love are nursing students and people who are interested in the nursing field. Maybe they've completed a CNA program or have some kind of medical experience and want to get a little more experience under their belt before they commit full on to the RN program. We really love nursing students. I know you're pressed for time, but we have really flexible schedules. We can do 4-hour shifts, say on the weekends or weeknights, not on your clinical nights, but and it's just a really good way to put some of what you learn into practice with one client at a time.
And earn some extra money.
Earn some money.
And which would be more beneficial for them than with their careers than necessarily flipping burgers or doing something else.
I would think so.
Yeah, a little bit. In our studio, we have two students from COC, Jasmine D'Elia and Leah Throckmorton. They're both here, and Jasmine's in her third semester at COC in the nursing program. Leah, your fourth semester. And we really want to learn more about you and the program itself, so maybe we'll backtrack a little bit, starting with you, Jasmine.
Okay.
What made you decide to get into nursing to begin with?
Nursing was always kind of like in the back of my mind. I always wanted to do something to help people. And I went away for school actually for a year. I went to San Diego, and I started with psychology, then I switched to social work, and then I switched to speech therapy. And then I kind of had like an event happen. I had a close friend pass away, and it was kind of like an epiphany for me. And it was kind of like my light went off, and then I decided to come home, and I just started on the prereqs right away, and I kind of bombarded myself with them. I took all of them together, and then I applied for the program.
And we know that COC has a stellar nursing program where they're accepting about 50 students every semester, and they get well over 200 applicants. So just getting into the COC program is an accomplishment.
Yeah, when I found out that I got in, it was like, whoa, this is real. Like, I'm really going to do this. And it really is just the big first step. And some people don't realize how hard it is just to even get to that point to apply, because the classes are hard that you're taking. They're very hard science classes, and especially if you're trying to take them all at one time and apply quickly, it is overwhelming. Just getting to that point is overwhelming. So if you're in that position now, don't feel discouraged, because once you get past that hump, it's a big sigh of relief.
And how about you, Leah? Take us through your journey. What made you decide to get into nursing, and then particularly COC?
Well, I am from this area, so COC has always been like my home school. I absolutely love it.
Which high school did you go through?
Hart High School.
Hart High, okay. We've got some Kenyon folks in here and some Saugus folks down the block, so you've got some rivalries.
Go Hart. But
You're wearing your Hart colors, I see,
I
too.
am,
Yeah, see?
representing. I absolutely loved COC from the beginning, and I got into multiple other four-year universities, and I chose COC's nursing program over them because it has a very family-oriented, I would say, atmosphere. You're not being pushed against other students. You're being you're utilizing other students and helping them to grow as well, rather than trying to look only at your own benefits. So I think that's one of the main reasons I chose COC, and it was the best decision I've ever made. So.
And what specifically drove you to nursing?
I spent a lot of time in the hospital as a child, and there was one nurse that I still remember her name. Her name was Barbie, and she made a very scary situation into one that I personally remember as super fun, and I got to pick my own scrubs, and I got to look at all these tools and stuff, and if I can do that for someone else, how amazing would that be? So that's kind of what got me into the nursing
That's very
field.
cool. And I suspect, Geneva, from the visiting angel standpoint, you hear that a lot from some of your employees, because they're having that one-on-one care for seniors.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you guys both described, usually there is a personal event, a personal reason why you get into this career, because you see the impact of the caring people that are doing procedures and providing medications and overall caring for somebody, and what a huge impact that has on not only the patient, but their family and friends also.
Now, I know, Geneva, you would hire both Jasmine and Leah on the spot.
If they pass my background check.
Assuming they pass your back, but what question would you be asking them right now if you were doing an employment interview for them? In fact, let's put them on the spot.
Oh, gosh.
Ask them a question that you think would best point out to you if they're the keeper or we're not going to hire her.
The most eye-opening question that we ask is, why do you want to care for seniors? Now, neither one of you said that you want to care for seniors, but you want to care for people. And that is the most eye-opening question, open-ended question that we ask. You just put it out there and see what people come up with. And you can tell right away if people have a personal drive to provide excellent care for people. We ask other stuff too, like what's your availability would be my biggest question to you guys.
Jasmine, I mean, you kind of answered it already a little bit, but I'd really like you to answer that question for Geneva. How would you answer that if you were being interviewed right now?
Why do I want to care for people? That was the question. I just think, well, for me, again, talking about my friend who passed away, it was kind of a hospital error that kind of led to her passing. So that was a big thing for me. If I could make the difference to point out to the doctor, hey, maybe this test would be a good idea, or hey, maybe we should go this route, or maybe we should think about this, which my friend didn't have that representation at that time. I think that makes a big difference for a lot of patients, because doctors do have a lot of patients and they do forget things. They're human just like we are, and we forget things, and nurses are that second hand that's there to help and be kind of it's like the sidekick. It's you're providing care for someone, and as nurses we do have a lot of knowledge, and we have different knowledge compared to doctors. I think we have more of a, how would you say it, you're there around the clock. So you see things that a doctor wouldn't see in, whatever the 10, 20 minutes that they come in every day. So I think nurses just provide that extra
Perspective?
Yeah, perspective. That's a good word. To help advocate for your patient, which is hard because some people don't know how to advocate for themselves.
Well put.
Leah, you're very well
You're
said.
hired.
Leah, how would you answer that?
I would say I think that in our society we have two ends of the spectrum of people who need, I think, a little bit of extra attention, and that's the young and the old. And everyone's going to be in both of those positions at one point in our lives, and if we can provide that support and that extra care for someone, I think that is absolutely incredible. And the fact that everyone that you love is going to be in that position at one point, and if you can provide, even sometimes it doesn't come down to medical needs, it comes down to listening or like a gentle touch, or reminding them about their dog or something that they love, that can change someone's day. And I think that perspective that you can bring to someone's life is kind of amazing.
Boy, both stellar answers.
Love
huh,
it.
Geneva?
I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
So Geneva, share with us, what was the worst answer you ever had
no.
on any applicant?
I need to make some money.
That's what I say, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course, everybody needs to earn an income, but that's not who should go into a caring career, is just for the money.
Yeah, my wife Jerry does the interviewing here at KHTS, and for many, many years she always asks what's your strongest attributes and what's your worst attributes. And if someone can't name any bad attributes, she then tries to prod and say, well, what would your wife or girlfriend say if I was talking? And of course that would come out. But even then, if they're still stuck on being Mr. or Ms. Perfect, they're not going to be working at KHTS. And I guess you look at that too, Geneva. And one of the things, both Jasmine and Leah seem very outgoing and very confident and very sure of themselves. But you mentioned one time, Geneva, that you're also looking at a particular senior may not want someone that outgoing. Maybe you can elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah. Our clients have all kinds of needs and characteristics, and so we need a caregiving staff that has all kinds of needs or skills and characteristics. So some people respond well to an outgoing, bubbly personality, and somebody else maybe who isn't feeling real well or not receptive to having care, they prefer a little more quiet, low key. And I know that's something you guys learn to moderate to, and just respond to how your patient is feeling and what they need at the moment. And we try and teach our caregiving staff that as well. But of course there's just certain personalities that people have, a really loud speaker.
Yeah.
if they can't tone that down, then we just have to make sure we put them in the right environment.
Yeah, if I was a nurse, I would be unteachable that way, and you would have to put me in a very loud, outgoing environment. This is KHTS Radio, your hometown station. Carl Goldman with you. We're spending an hour delving into nursing careers right here in Santa Clarita. Hopefully it might be something you are interested in, or something that someone you know who might be interested in. So you want to stick around, listen to it. If you just tuned in, we are streaming live on KHTS AM, also our hometown station, hometownstation.com, but the phone app is KHTS AM. We, of course, broadcasting on both AM 1220 and the new FM 98.1. You also can watch this on YouTube. We'll have this posted by Monday and have a YouTube interview, so it's something you can share with anyone out there. When we're talking again with Geneva Gray, who is the owner of the Visiting Angels franchise here in Santa Clarita, in-home care, and then two students from the COC nursing program. We have Jasmine D'Elia and Leah Throckmorton, both here and taking us through kind of the journey. So you both got in. We'll get everyone caught up chronologically. You both got into the COC program. It's your first week there, so rewind the tape. What was that like for you, Jasmine?
Wow. That's one word that it was just a lot. It's very overwhelming at first, and I want to say first semester in general is just so much information being thrown at you that it's kind of like you're just learning things to learn them without a type of rationale yet, because there's so much to learn. And as the program progresses, the pieces start to come together, and you're like, oh, that's why I learned that, first semester, or that's why I needed to know this medication, and it kind of pieces itself together. So at first you're kind of like hit like by a semi truck, and then slowly you start to stand up and you start to walk, and now in third semester, it feels like, okay, I can hold my own in the hospital. Like, I know what's going on. Obviously I still have questions and I'm still learning, but it feels like, looking back, it feels like a century ago. And I was so lost at first, and now it's just a whole new world. And
So were you intimidated at first?
intimidated is a good word, I think.
But then from
But
what
excited at the same time.
Right.
It's a very exciting thing, because even when you learn one new thing, you're like, wow, that's really interesting. And I know that, just very cool.
I heard from other students, and Leah, you also paraphrase this a bit too, that the support at COC, even when you first enter, from both students and, of course, the faculty, make it a lot easier, make that transition easier. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I would totally agree with that. It's like a huge family. Even people you don't know, if they walk up to you and say, hey, are you in second semester? Are you in third semester? And you've never seen them, you can sit and talk with them for 30, 40 minutes just about the nursing program, anything you're worried about, homework, tests, anything. And it just feels like a big family, and including the staff, they always make it known that we can talk to them about anything, personal issues or something that you feel is holding you back. And I've never felt like I didn't have someone to talk to in the program, and that is such a great feeling, because it is a lot to take in, especially for people who are working, and there's a lot of people in the program who have kids and have families, and there's such a diverse dynamic, and everyone works together to push each other through. It's not like a competition, as she was saying earlier.
Cool. Leah, how about you take us through that beginning journey for you?
Well, I know my first day, I don't know if you took pictures. We took pictures
Yes.
of our first day of nursing school, and it's like this cherished moment for me, because you're working so hard to get to this day, and you get there, and again, overwhelmed, I think, is the phenomenal word to describe that moment, because you feel like, wow, there's a lot of information I need to take in, and not only are you learning the information, you're learning how to learn the information, which is, you're getting a lot of information at one time. So, but like I said, like you said earlier, the support system that they have at COC through the actual COC campus, we have the health wellness?
Yeah, the
health
wellness.
wellness center, where you can go, and if you feel, they have counselors on call that you can go to, which I know multiple people have used. We also have a lot of professors always in our skills lab. You can go in, shoulder to cry on, someone to hug when you did something absolutely exceptional. So it's a very supportive little family.
Awesome. We're going to learn more about your journey through the nursing program in a minute, taking a short break here. We're talking with Geneva Gray of Visiting Angels here in Santa Clarita. visitingangels.com/Santa Clarita will get you more information on that. If you're looking for a career, a job, or a stepping stone into the nursing program, I urge you to check that out. And then, of course, the nursing program at College of the Canyons, that stellar program. Go to canyons.edu. We'll be back with Jasmine, Leah, and Geneva right after this on your hometown station.
Visiting Angels is looking for quality caregivers and companions to join our growing team of compassionate, caring people providing care and assistance to Santa Clarita seniors. Our Angels help seniors with activities such as meal preparation, light housekeeping, personal care, and running errands. Visiting Angels takes pride in offering competitive wages, benefits, paid training, and flexible schedules. We have clients throughout Santa Clarita, so you can work close to home. Details at visitingangels.com/Santa Clarita.
Angels, America's choice in home care. Washing your fine automobile is a delicate matter. At Water Wheel Car Wash, 28 years of experience puts a shine on your car and a smile on your face. Water Wheel Car Wash uses state-of-the-art equipment. Open every day with extended hours. Text Water Wheel to 84045 and get an instant discount on your next car wash. That's right, an instant discount on your next car wash by texting Water Wheel to 84045. Do it often. Water Wheel on the corner of Soledad and Sierra Highway. Take your dry cleaning to SCV Cleaners and get the same great service from the same owners.
You can now find your hometown station all over social media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, we're on it. Pinterest, YouTube, even Snapchat. KHTS even has apps for your Apple and Android phones. Plus, you can get email and text alerts on our homepage on the website. We're all over the place. You can link up to everything by going to hometownstation.com/social. It's that easy. hometownstation.com/social.
This is a Rita's Daybreak. There's a huge crowd at Rita's. With so many amazing flavors, every day's a treat. Let's see what folks are celebrating.
I lost my first tooth.
No more training wheels.
My dog photo got 37 likes.
3 kids, 3 activities, 0 meltdowns. There you have it. Layer it, blend it, or drink it with Italian ice and creamy custard. So many reasons to celebrate at Rita's. This has been a Rita's Daybreak.
There's only one Santa Clarita plastic surgeon who is Yale trained and board certified, Dr. Justin Heller.
To be a board certified plastic surgeon like myself, what that truly entails is about 5 to 7 years of honed surgical training in reconstructive, all areas, as well as aesthetics, which means your facelifts, your breast augmentations, your body contouring, true training and board certification. In fact, that's the only board certified area that can be achieved in this realm.
Dr. Justin Heller, warm, understanding, always available for guidance because he's local. HellerPlasticSurgery.com.
It's the perfect gift that says it all. Classic Designs Jewelry. Discover the perfect gift that will not only put a smile on her face, it will last a lifetime. Classic Designs isn't like any other jeweler. They've been a part of Santa Clarita since 1992. Appo and his team of experts will guide you through your choices, creating the best custom match for you and your budget. For the most distinctive jewelry, experience Classic Designs on Valencia in the Whole Foods Center. ClassicDesignsJewelry.com.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Your hometown station, Carl Goldman with you this Friday afternoon. We are doing a special broadcast with a number of COC nursing students to learn more about the nursing program, careers in nursing, and something that we all know we eventually are going to need, and that's some kind of care as we continue to age. That's something, as both of you mentioned, is going to happen no matter what. In the studio, we have Geneva Gray, who is the owner of Visiting Angels, the local franchise here in Santa Clarita, in-home care, and also 2 students who are in the COC nursing program, Jasmine Dalia, who's in her 3rd semester, Leah Throckmorton in her 4th semester. We heard earlier about your journey coming into the program and what those first few hours and days and weeks were like in the program. And I know we've learned and talked to other students, you do a lot of work on the clinical side too. So it's classroom work, textbooks, and a lot of hands-on stuff. Share with us the hands-on, Jasmine. What did that first look like, and what are you doing now?
So first semester, you don't really do much to start with. You kind of just get your feet wet. So actually the first day we were working with the CNAs, which are the nurse assistants, and we were changing beds, doing bed baths.
And where were you doing that?
This was at a hospital. I was at Valley Pres Hospital.
Okay, Valley
That was my first
Presbyterian.
semester. Yes.
Got it. Okay. And just as preface this, COC is hooked up with so many of our local hospitals. So everyone from Henry Mayo to Holy Cross, Cal State Northridge. We learned, we talked to someone who's at Simi Hospital, Valley Presbyterian, and I'm sure I'm missing 1 or 2 as well.
Yeah, we have a couple other ones too. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, at first you're kind of just getting your feet wet, and the notorious question is when you're picking a patient and you go up and ask the nurse if you can work with them, they say, well, what can you do? And that's the most dreaded question in the beginning, because you can't do much. So you kind of feel like a nuisance. So some nurses are inviting to help you learn and others aren't so much. So that part of it was very intimidating. And fast forwarding to now, obviously there's a lot more in third semester that you're able to do. So we transitioned into giving medication by mouth, and now we're giving medications through IVs. We're hanging their IV fluids, and
Is that still at Valley Pres?
I'm still at Valley Pres.
So you're pretty much sticking with one hospital, which is a good thing.
I have, but everybody else seems to have switched around. I'm one of the people who have stayed mostly at Valley Pres. I only did one other rotation at Northridge Hospital for my psychiatric rotation. So for me, Valley Pres is very familiar, and I'm actually about to go into my pediatric OB rotation there, and I was actually born there, so it's kind of like going full circle here. So it's exciting.
Very cool. Leah, how about you? What's the clinical look like for you?
Well, I have been able to go to multiple hospitals, so I've been to St. Joe's, Valley Pres, Northridge. I'm now at Holy Cross. I've been to Henry Mayo. I've been to a lot of them, so I've got to have the experience of multiple different hospitals, multiple different nurses, different staff, and it's been really neat to be able to experience that. Right now I am at Holy Cross, and I'm able to act as the nurse. So I'm taking on all of my nurses' patients. I'm doing all of the medications, all of the total care for the patients. We do what we call team leading, which means I am in charge of my 4 patients. I'm in charge of my schedule. I'm in charge of making sure that I get everything that needs to be done in a timely manner, as well as documentation. So as of last week, I passed my my ability to do team nursing, and so basically that means that my professor feels that if I were to go on and graduate, I would be capable of taking on a full load of patients and doing everything that I need for them. So it's pretty exciting.
Awesome, and you're real close to graduating.
Yes, 8 weeks to go.
So how many hours or how many days a week are you at Holy Cross now?
I do 1 day a week, except I am there from 6:30 in the morning until 7:30 at night.
So you've got 13-hour shift. How many patients would you be taking care of in that 13-hour window?
I am on a telemetry floor, which is a specialty floor, which means I can only take 4 patients. Typically, if I was on a med-surg floor, I could take up to 5, but I am taking on 4 patients. And if someone gets discharged and we get another patient, I could potentially then take 5 or 6 patients.
But you're basically dealing with 4 patients at one time.
At one time.
So that's good one-on-one and a good chance to get to know them and understand them, and as you said, communicate with them.
Absolutely,
a lot
yes.
better. So I know, Geneva, you've already hired both of them now.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe you could ask a few questions from your perspective. What would you like to ask Jasmine and Leah?
Well, as I've gotten to know more about the COC nursing program, I have to say that I'm really impressed. And I understand now why I love when you guys come to my office and look for a job. You're really taught to care about the whole person and their experience, what they're going through, and how you can make it easier on them. And that's exactly what we love to do. And talking to you and hearing your experiences, I think about my early days in nursing and how exciting it is to think about launching into your career. So I would like to know, Leah first, what are you looking at after, your next 8 weeks and after you pass your nursing board exam?
That would be, by the way, 8 weeks, 1 day, 14 hours, and 32 minutes.
Not that I'm counting.
14 seconds.
What nursing career are you most interested in?
I think I have 3 options that I have really particularly enjoyed, and I know that I want to go on to get my master's. So right now I'm kind of deciding which master's I want to get. There's nurse practitioner or a clinical nurse specialist or physician's assistant. So I know I want to get that. I just haven't decided which one.
But don't you need to get your BA first, or BS first?
I am in a I'm in a bachelor's program as well. I'm doing National University. So after I graduate COC, it's at COC, so it's in their university center, and 8 weeks or 8 months after I get pass my NCLEX, I will have my bachelor's.
Awesome. So you're doing that concurrently and
I
able
am.
to do both.
Yes.
And that's part of the beauty of COC and having that university center right there.
They have, I believe it's 5
Yeah, they have 5
schools
different-
now
Mhm.
that you can go through to get your bachelor's degree. So it makes it very easy to go right on to your bachelor's, which is absolutely amazing. But when it comes to choosing what specialty, I really enjoyed behavioral health as well as pediatrics and telemetry. So all very different fields, but all very exciting.
All right, Jasmine, let's hear you.
I'm also in the same program that Leah's in. I'm through National. It's the concurrent program. So after I graduate in December, 8 months after my NCLEX, I will have my BSN as well. I also want to get a master's. I'm leaning more towards nurse practitioner. I'm very interested in labor and delivery and pediatrics, which I'm about to do this rotation. So we'll see if my thoughts are going to match how I feel. But yeah.
And the pediatrics, you're also doing at Valley Presbyterian.
I'm doing it so we do pediatrics, NICU, PICU, labor and delivery, postpartum, kind of all of that together in 8 weeks. So it's a lot, again, to absorb.
Okay, now I know most of those terms, but what's PICU?
It's the pediatric ICU.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, as opposed to...
And the NICU is neonatal.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, not Jasmine, but Leah. In some of what you mentioned, you will come across caring for seniors, especially telemetry, definitely behavioral health, and so this is my chance to ask you and other future nurses to keep considering the whole person, like you're taught in nursing school. Sometimes when you are in your career, you get busy, you're doing procedures. This is an important person, and they deserve our dignity and respect. And I know you already know that. But that's just my chance to preach. And think about too how exciting. I know maybe geriatric nursing doesn't sound exciting. I assure you it is. There are some big changes happening in our field right now related to caring for seniors because there's so many seniors coming up, and the aging baby boomers are demanding certain changes in how we care for them. It's tough for some people to get to the doctor or to the clinic. Yeah. So really fun advances about bringing those things to them in the home. Telemedicine nursing is really exciting, I think, and nurses are at the front lines of that, gathering the data to help them manage their chronic conditions at home, to eliminate the stress of getting to doctor's visits. I love that. And things like mobility and how can we help seniors deal with the things that they're facing, loss of mobility, loss of memory. So think about that when you're bored, after you're bored with OB and peds. Okay. And I also, so you've done a good job at kind of summarizing what it's like to be in nursing school. Jasmine, what do you think it takes to be a good nurse?
I think there's a lot of components to being a good nurse, and I think the first thing everyone says is that you have to be compassionate, you have to be caring, and while I do agree highly with that because you do have to be compassionate in order to take care of somebody else, I think that nurses also have to be very smart. We're taking care of someone else, and we're seeing their labs, and we're seeing how they're acting, we're seeing their symptoms, we're hearing from the doctor, and we're kind of getting all this information, and we have to take all that information and be able to critically think how we're going to properly take care of this person. And everybody's different, and everybody reacts differently to medications or to procedures or even to certain diagnoses. People are going to react differently. So as a nurse, you have to be able to take everything in and choose wisely which path you're going to take in order to take care of this person. And I think that's a big part of it. You have to be able to critically think and know the science of it, but also know the caring side of it. So I think it's a big just jumble of taking care of someone else, which is a big deal, I think.
Don't you think it's also critical to ask the right questions to the patient?
Yeah, just like everybody's different. So you're going to ask different questions. An answer to a question you ask is going to lead you to another question that you may not ask one person, but you'll ask a different person. And it just, some people have access to certain things while others don't. So it's kind of, also that's the balancing act of figuring out what works, what plan is going to work for each person, because not everyone has the same medical insurance and the access or the capability of getting to the hospital, as she was mentioning with the geriatric population. And so everybody's different, and you have to be able to step out of the box and think critically in order to take care of everybody in their own way.
And also, I've noticed, having been to the ER many times with a parent, an aging parent, or an aging parent-in-law, when the nurse talks to them, they're leaving out critical chunks of information in that immediate ER moment.
Yeah.
And that's why I realize being there and being able to fill those gaps is important. But it really, a lot of the times, those patients don't have an advocate in the room, so the burden is on you to make sure you can fill those gaps.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, and not even the older population. There's people who just, their disease process is so severe and they're not even that old, but they forget big parts of, what led them here, or,
Or they're traumatized or freaked out when
exactly.
they're coming out.
And that's another big part of it, as she was saying that she liked the behavioral health. That's a big part of nursing that I almost didn't realize was going to be such a big part. And each patient has their own thing going on inside of their head, their own emotions, and that also goes into your care, because some people take the diagnosis, for example, of cancer better than other people, and someone's going to break down about it and someone else might pretend that they're fine, but they're not fine. So it's kind of like you have to figure out what's going to work for each patient.
Your hometown station, KHTS, Carl Goldman with you, along with Jasmine D'Elia, who we've been hearing from, who's the semester student at COC in the nursing program. Leah Throckmorton is also here in the studio, is a fourth semester. She is just, we'll figure out how many minutes away from graduating. I'll have Kyle do the math right now while we're going to the commercial break. And then, of course, Geneva Gray, who is the owner of our Santa Clarita Visiting Angels franchise. We only have about 90 seconds, so I'd really like Leah to save your answer till we come back, but maybe we can just briefly talk a little bit about that. You went right from the first few weeks at school and you kind of fast forward to where you are today. Maybe if each of you can just in 30 seconds fill that gap. What was happening for you a good period of the time from the first few weeks in the program up to now the fourth semester, Leah?
I would say I think a lot of confidence building has occurred. You start in your first semester and you're a little wobbly on your feet. You're getting to know how to ask questions, those very important questions, how to interact with patients and doctors and nurses. And then, again, taking on PO meds to doing IV meds and learning as you go. So I think the growth process is kind of incredible in just 4 semesters.
Jasmine?
I agree completely with what Leah's saying, but I think the big transition from first to third for me was that behavioral health rotation. That really gives you an insight of a different perspective of nursing care. Not everyone obviously is as severe as behavioral health units, but everyone has that emotional, that mental and aspect to them. So it's good. It was a very eye-opening experience for me, and I think I will always carry that in my nursing care.
Boy, you two are incredible salespeople as well. I'm ready to become a nurse. Kyle's already changed outfits here in the studio and has that nursing gear on entering the program. We're going to learn more about the COC program, more about nursing here on your hometown station after this short break.
Visiting Angels is looking for quality caregivers and companions to join our growing team of compassionate, caring people providing care and assistance to Santa Clarita seniors. Our Angels help seniors with activities such as meal preparation, light housekeeping, personal care, and running errands. Visiting Angels takes pride in offering competitive wages, benefits, paid training, and flexible schedules. We have clients throughout Santa Clarita so you can work close to home. Details at visitingangels.com/Santa Clarita.
Visiting Angels, America's choice in home care.
Indulge yourself in the world of wine at the 6th Annual Sierra Pelona Valley Wine Festival, Saturday, April 21st from noon till 4 p.m., benefiting the Zonta Club of SCV. Get your Chardonnay on with live music, gourmet food, handmade crafts, and the best local wines Santa Clarita has to offer at Reyes Winery. Dionysus Dilettantes and wine connoisseurs alike will enjoy this festival. Sponsored by Reyes Winery, Pepsi, Anheuser-Busch, main stage sponsor SCV Advanced Audiology, and VIP sponsors California Bank and Trust and Mercedes-Benz of Valencia. Visit ReyesWinery.com to purchase tickets.
The stress was unbelievable.
Debbie Morris is a changed woman.
A giant boulder's been lifted.
Debbie called Made for You.
I'd finished a day of work.
Professional, residential, and commercial cleaning.
Walk into my house.
Made for You.
It was an absolute pigsty.
Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or even one-time seasonal cleaning.
Our mess kept growing.
255-2922.
Even when we weren't home.
255-2922.
Made for You rescued me.
KHTS strives to give the Santa Clarita Valley all the information they need. And when our computers aren't working the way they should, we call Resurgence, your true source for IT. Resurgence provides outstanding customer service while also providing the highest technical ability. They strive to do what is best to improve and protect your business. For more information on Resurgence, call 349-4114 or go to resurgenceit.com.
We all know someone impacted by the Las Vegas tragedy. It's touched our valley in thousands of households. Many of us were actually there. In Santa Clarita, we had 1 fatality and 14 injured by bullets. Many more were injured trying to escape. Others are still traumatized by their ordeal, finding challenges returning to normal lives. The law firm of Owen Patterson Owen is helping many Las Vegas victims get financial assistance for their ordeal. If you know someone impacted by the shooting, visit opolaw.com.
Hey there, it's Tori with your hometown station weather. A mix of sun and clouds today with a high of 65. Some clouds overnight with a low of 43. More sun and clouds Saturday and Sunday with highs in the low 60s. Phil Wickham in concert at Grace Baptist Church on Copper Hill Drive this Sunday, March 25th. Tickets are on sale now. Join Grace Baptist Church for this special concert. Phil Wickham in concert. For more information, go to hometownstation.com.
KHTS, your hometown station. Carl Goldman with you this hour, learning about the nursing program at COC and ways we can all enter a nursing career. And I say we because Jasmine and Leah, who are 2 students there, have done such a great sales job. We're putting on our outfits right now and getting ready to do the preliminary courses. Jasmine D'Elia and Leah Throckmorton are here, 3rd and 4th semester students, along with Geneva Gray, our Visiting Angels angel here, who owns the local Visiting Angels franchise in Santa Clarita, in-home care specialist. And Geneva, I'll hand it back off to you because you're in the process of asking Leah and Jasmine a couple questions.
Okay, so my big question for Leah, you already heard it from Jasmine. You both are so well spoken and have done a really great job of explaining what it's like to be a student nurse. So, what do you think it takes to be a good nurse?
I think it comes down to the balance of the art of nursing and the science of nursing. So when we're talking about the art of nursing, like the ability to communicate clearly and to be able to assess a patient's needs, like if they need, like you were saying earlier, if they need you to be quieter, if they need you to be, a little bit more bubbly that day, or, reading their physical cues. I think that is like the science of, or the art of nursing, being able to assess those qualities. And then the science comes down to you're very analytical. You have to be able to see problems before they happen and assess a lot of data, because you're taking on not just one patient, you're taking on multiple patients and all of their labs and all of their physical problems that you have to deal with. So I think it's again the balance of the art and the science coming together.
The head and the heart.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You asked a question, Leah, over to Geneva a minute ago during the commercial break, and I thought we'd transition to that for a second. You asked if Geneva at Visiting Angels had any deaf patients. First of all, why'd you ask that?
Sign language is like my second love. I'm fluent in sign language. I went through COC's interpreter training, so I don't know. If she did, I would have absolutely loved to be able to visit, but she didn't have any in Santa Clarita.
But Geneva, you do have a franchise up in San Luis Obispo, and you said you had some up there.
Yeah, we have hearing impaired clients, and I don't have any right now, but
when you do,
so that's your attempt to kind of give back and help other people communicate.
Yeah, it was. I've known people who have had trouble communicating, and in high school I took sign language, and then I took it in college, and it became just like this love of mine, and it's like my habit to like finger spell things. It's like a nervous habit that I have, but I absolutely love it. So it's kind of, I don't know, a neat thing.
I'm sure it's going to come in handy.
Yes, it has, so.
Right now we have a lot of parents in the cars listening, and they're picking up their kids, so they're tuned in. If you could give a little advice to someone who's in high school right now and trying to figure out what they want to do, what would that advice be, Leah? Go back to your thinking in 10th, 11th, 12th grade.
I would say you have time, and you don't have to figure out what you need or want right this very second, because it may not be what you need and want in a year from now. But I would say focus on your general education. Try out a lot of different things to see if it's what you like, and make sure that you stay focused in school, because no matter what, the grades are definitely going to help you get wherever you want to go.
And if nursing is of interest, there's opportunities out there to volunteer at the senior center or a number of other places here in Santa Clarita that could get that experience. Did you do any of that?
Yeah,
when you were in Hart?
Yes, I still volunteer at Henry Mayo. I think it's an absolutely amazing place to volunteer if you choose to volunteer somewhere. I would also say volunteering in, again, they have a lot of senior centers, or getting a job. I don't know if you hire high school students, though.
Well, you got to be 18.
But getting a job in the field that you're interested in, I think, is incredible. And making sure if you want to get into nursing, studying for your TEAS exam is what's going to make it or break it for you. So making sure you really put in the time for your TEAS test is going to be incredibly important.
Jasmine, how would you answer that?
Well, I agree with everything that Leah said. The only thing I would add would be, if you're interested in the nursing field, I wouldn't close your mind to the idea of going to a ADN program compared to a 4-year BSN program. I know there's a lot of pressure to straight away get your BSN, and now most hospitals are only hiring BSNs. The 2-year ADN program, then to a bridge to a BSN, is amazing, and I've had an amazing experience, and it's not any different, and people don't view you differently in the hospital. I would just keep that in mind. You don't have to go to a 4-year and spend all that money when you can do it at a 2-year, stay at home, save a lot of money, and go through a great program like COC.
Geneva, Leah just asked if high school students could work for you at Visiting Angels, and that probably is a little too early, but if someone is listening right now, who are you looking for specifically?
I'm looking for a lot of different people. So we really like the younger, more energetic caregiver because they're really involved and interested in what our client is going through medically, because they're trying to manage everything, their pain, their medications, their personal care needs, and they're really interested in how they can have an effect on that, the science part of it.
And I've got to jump in because this hour has just flown by. Our time is up. We've got Geneva Gray, Visiting Angels. Contact her at visitingangels.com/Santa Clarita. Jasmine D'Elia and Leah Throckmorton, a pleasure to get to know you, and we know we'll see great things happening from you, and of course the whole COC program. Canyons.edu is the place to go for more information on that. I'm Carl Goldman. This is your hometown station. Very special program here, thanks to Visiting Angels. This is KHTS AM 1220 and 98.1 FM.